Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Things Aviation and Aerospace. My name is Vince Mickens, and I am with the Private Air Media Group. And we have a great show today. I know I say that every time I do a show, but they're all great because they all provide a lot of great information for those who are pursuing careers in aviation and aerospace. So this one is about scholarships, and it's great. I was just telling my first guest, Jim, that we had a lot of conversations about scholarships. All the associations have different scholarship programs with different deadlines. The one I'm going to deal with today, or the four I'm going to deal with, all have deadlines this fall within the next couple of months. So I thought it'd be apropos to go through that and touch base with everything and see how we're doing. So my first guest is Jim Viola. Jim is the president and CEO of Helicopter Association International that he has so nicely down behind him, better known as HAI to those of us in the industry. And Jim has quite the history, as I've learned, and background, not only in flying helicopters and fixed wing. He has his ATP, both fixed wing and rotor. He's got 3 master's degrees, and we could do a show on Jim, but today we'll do it on scholarships. But Jim, it's a pleasure to have you.
No, that fits right into scholarships and the importance of education and the opportunities that, you invited the people here that, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide opportunity for education, and we're trying to help people help themselves by applying for some of these. So no, I really appreciate being here with you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's great to have you. So why don't we get this started and talk a little bit about your scholarships that HA. Tell us about your program and about some of the specific scholarships and what you guys, why these scholarships are important and why they were selected as something to offer to your members.
No, certainly, Vince. And that's, the key word on that, and I think it's probably for everyone, it's scholarships. So it's not just one scholarship. We have multiple opportunities for multiple people to get them. One of the first ones is the Bill Sanderson Aviation Maintenance Technical Scholarship. And, when you might hear a lot about pilot shortages, but, there's also, mechanical or engineers, depending on what part of the globe you're in. And so we need help maintaining these vehicles today as well as to the future. And so we have 7 awards, and they come from Airbus, Bell, Leonardo, MD, Pratt & Whitney, Rolls-Royce, and Safran helicopter engines. And all the winners of those receive a full tuition to the maintenance course offered by the manufacturer, as well as the first place winner receives $1,600 stipend and others will get $1,000 to help with traveling and lodging when they go to those courses. And then all the winners also receive complimentary registration to HAI's Heli Expo. And of course, in this year, it's going to be in Atlanta. And the key thing there is, the networking, the job search, and the people that you meet at something that size, about 14,000 people plus normally at the Heli Expos. And that way they can mingle with others that have earned their AMP certificate. So to apply for that, within the last 2 years, you must be a graduate of a Part 147 school or international equivalent. And it really helps make sure that we've got a solid foundation as we move forward on the maintenance side, as well as, like I said, the pilot side. And
yeah.
As we get,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So then as we get into the pilot side, we have the Commercial Helicopter Pilot Scholarship, and we award 2 scholarships there at $5,000 each. And all the winners receive complimentary registration to Heli Expo again, and a great place, as I talked about, for that networking. Same deal where you get to rub elbows with others in the industry, and you can, when you're looking for, what you're going to do, you want to talk about where do you want to live, what kind of aircraft do you want to fly, what part of the country do you want to fly, do you want to go international? I mean, all that stuff is important, and those are the things that are hard to measure that you get at those type of events. And so the applicants for that one must be working towards their commercial pilot certificate, and they must be enrolled in a Part 141 flight school, or again, international equivalent. And we do the international equivalent because, we're trying to, Heli Expo, we normally get 70 plus countries, and even HAI as an association is international, and we continue to try to be more international with some of the stuff we've done with partnering with the European Helicopter Association, and also, being a show provider for Euro Rotors this year. So we are truly international, and we want to make sure that people understand these scholarships are open to international people as well.
Yeah, and you touched on something that's really significant, and that is the opportunities that currently exist in the industry that are growing leaps and bounds day by day. I mean, everywhere you hear, whether it's on the commercial side, the private side, et cetera, there are just opportunities abound, whether it's to fly or to be a technician or mechanic, et cetera, and so forth. In the helicopter industry, which is your forte, can you talk a little bit about that and what you guys are seeing and have been seeing as far as that goes in the industry?
So are you talking about workforce development?
Yeah, workforce development, but in tying it in, why it's so important for people to take advantage of the scholarship opportunities.
Yeah, well, I mean, the scholarship opportunities, when you set goals as an individual, I mean, I know you go back to, your early days of aspiring to be a pilot out there, and my early days of, trying to do the same thing and then trying to figure out, okay, financially, how are we going to make that happen? Well, these are the perfect opportunity to help with that little boost and whatever the dream is out there that the future is bringing us. And we need it in both the pilot side of the house, the operators, even if we're talking about remotely piloted vehicles of the future, somebody's still an operator is still going to be, having to do that stuff. And then the maintenance side of the house, we're always going to be we have to be able to maintain those vehicles.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point about how the industry has expanded too. So in terms of remotely operated aircraft and things of that nature, the UAVs and the like, and how that's really growing and offering opportunities as well. So can you tell us a little bit more about HAI and how it's helpful to be a member and some of the things that people should be aware of in terms of being involved with your organization?
Okay, and I still got two more scholarships that I hadn't mentioned. So
let's go with those first.
All right. So we got the maintenance technician certificate scholarship, and we have two scholarships there at $2,500 each. And you must be enrolled in a Part 147 school or equivalent. And again, the winners will get that same complimentary registration to Heli Expo. And then we also have the Michelle North Scholarship for Safety. And that's one award, and that's for pilot must have earned a commercial pilot certificate and demonstrates outstanding aptitude for flying safety. And the winner receives the professional education course in safety management systems presented at Heli Expo, and of course, the complimentary registration to the show and hotel accommodations. Now, overall, we talked about Heli Expo, but HAI as an association internationally, we want to start with education, safety, and advocacy to make sure that the industry continues to maintain the strength and the prosperity of being able to grow. And we can't grow without being safe. The 121 world has got there. There was some stuff that was mandated years before the commercial aviation safety team. And currently what the rotorcraft community has, and we are expanding and welcoming the new technology with advanced air mobility and urban air mobility, because helicopters have done that mission. So what used to be the International Helicopter Safety Team is now the Vertical Aviation Safety Team. And we're partnered with ICAO as senior advisors, essentially. And what we're trying to do is help implement the ICAO safety plan globally. And so that's part of the safety. The advocacy work that gets done here in DC to make sure that, we can't, Mark Baker and I are buddies when it comes to, we can't lose infrastructure. We've got these great urban air mobility and advanced air mobility vehicles coming on board that are vertical capable. So we want to be we are that industry for the future vertical capable aircraft that can get you downtown more quietly possibly than the helicopter. Helicopters aren't going to go away, but these vehicles of the future will get you hopefully to the top of a rooftop building in a congested city. And not only we're talking New York or Los Angeles, but, we're talking about India and other places around the globe where, you've got the 121 world, you got the big airline, then you've got the business jet possibly, then you got the helicopter, and then you got this nice vertical vehicle capability to get you really close and help society. And that's one of the things I think that, of course, vertical lift brings to society is that capability that certainly was shown, if you've ever been involved with air ambulance and you've seen them, on the side of the highway where they're saving people's life, or, with the pandemic, we're able to fly out to needed areas that are very remote for people that were sick. So I'm very excited, as you can tell, to be the president and CEO of HAI. And I've constantly asked people, what can I do for them? And it's not what you can do for your association. And you'll hear that the same from Allison and others on here today. We're a really good, I think, bunch of people in the right place right now. And I appreciate, Vince, you doing what you're doing here today. So that, again, it's the number one thing is education. Where can you go to get educated on helicopters or rotorcraft? And you go to rotor.org, and there you are. It's the encyclopedias of the old days of when someone was knocking on the door trying to sell you 40, 50 books. Well, now you can just go to rotor.org, and by being a member of HAI, you can get behind some of the firewalls. We've got educational courses. So again, I've said education quite a few times, but very important.
Absolutely.
And the thing that comes next with that is opportunities to volunteer and be leaders in your organization. And you can be a leader in your small group, or as you expand, you can join HAI. We've got work groups where you can either be a member of a work group, or you can join and be a leader of that work group. So associations, we're here to help you get to what you're dreaming about, those that are out there listening today.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up things, somebody that's a student, high school, college, or they're postgraduate, but they're still trying to figure things out. How do they get in touch with, and what are some of the, in other words, do you have student memberships, et cetera, in terms of HAI?
Yeah. So your basic membership is $95 a year to get in. And then we have all the different memberships after that. And the key thing would be to, reach out, check out our webpage. If you come to rotor.org, you'll see that we got Rotor Daily. Rotor Daily is a free information, and that's a good way to start. The membership fees, of course, keeps us going for doing all the stuff that we do. We are all not-for-profit agencies, I think, on here today as well. So it's not about, making money. It's making money for industry to help industry continue to grow, help provide some of these scholarships, be the person that coordinates a lot of these things. So, and by all means, I want to make sure everybody understands, everybody you have on today, we all work together. And while we represent different segments, we're all one big team in this, aviation community.
Yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out. I think it's really great to know. So you guys have your convention coming up in Atlanta. What's the dates on that? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yes, it's March 6th, 7th, and 8th in Atlanta. And we also have European rotors that if you're for the international crowd, and that's going to be in Cologne, Germany, and that's almost the same dates in November of this year.
Okay, that's great. I was bringing it up because if anybody has an opportunity, whether they live in the area or can get to the area, I always think going to these aviation conventions are really great. It's a great opportunity not only to network, but to also to kind of see what's going on in the industry face to face, so to speak. So I think it'll be great that you guys are back in Atlanta. You hadn't been in Atlanta for quite a while, so it's glad to see you back there.
And just to let all the locals know, when we do come to the local areas, normally that last day we'll do a good a discount to make sure that we take advantage of our opportunity of all that stuff being there.
Again, people can go. You can go to rotor.org and look under scholarships, and you can find all the information that you need. Jim, I'm glad that you were able to join us again. It was an honor to have you on speak for the association and specific to your scholarship program. Wish you guys the best for Atlanta and overall in terms of the rotor world.
Well, thank you very much, Vince. It was a pleasure being here. So have a great day.
You too. I'm going to bring.
Sorry, I was so eager. I joined early. I'm glad I got to hear from Jim.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, he brought up a great point. All of you guys are in the same boat as far as associations. I say you guys. I've been in the association business for 16 years, and it's great that it can be a cooperative thing in terms of these type of programs. So I'm glad you guys got to say hello. It's really good to see you again, Allison. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Semi-regular.
I know, right?
It's great though. So for those of you who are not familiar, Allison McKay is the CEO of Women in Aviation International. And a little side note, she actually used to work for HAI. So
that's right.
That's why the world is so small.
Exactly.
But it's great to have you again. And you guys have quite a robust scholarship program. As a matter of fact, I've known that, it's a large number that you guys give away in terms of the different kinds of scholarships and the amount. But I was looking through it. And I thought, wow, it's almost a book, you know. I think you guys have, I think 78.
112 this time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not up to date.
Yeah.
112.
So one of the funny things is we never kind of finished getting new scholarship opportunities added to our existing cycles. So we opened on July the 1st, and more just kept pouring in. So we are very fortunate this cycle to be giving away a little over $630,000 for 112 scholarships.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going back briefly on the history, you know, Dr. Peggy Shebrian, who started Women in Aviation what was that?
In the mid 90s.
In the mid 90s. Yeah, I think it was 1990.
Yeah.
It was actually 1990. And what it's grown to now is just absolutely amazing. And then all of the different programs that you guys have, which afford people opportunities to really engage and get into the industry from all different aspects of it. So hats off to her. Wanted to go ahead and just let you talk a little bit about your programs and your overall scholarship program and what you guys are doing with it and for 2023.
Yeah, well, thank you for recognizing Peggy, because she really was a visionary in terms of the needs of the industry for diversity and the needs of our female members to network and get together. So we have given away over $15 million to date in our scholarship program. And we really recognize the financial barriers that exist in this industry to pursue your passion. And we try to meet people where they are in their careers. So whether you're a aspiring pilot or maintenance technician or engineer, we have scholarships for the majority of the professions that are in our industry. And, you know, like you said, we have 112, so it can seem a little daunting to get through to see all the scholarship opportunities we have. But we have a drop-down menu, so you can scroll from just particular segments of the industry that you're interested in.
Right.
And we really try to change lives with this program.
Yeah. In terms of, I'm sorry, we had another guest that was lining up, and I'm doing double duty. I don't have my producer today, so I apologize to everybody for being all over the place. But in terms of specifics with some of the scholarships, can you give a few examples of what you guys have, what you're offering?
So we have a series of flight training scholarships that pretty much cover the entire path of training, whether you're getting into it or you are completing your training. Obviously, we have A&P scholarships for those that are aspiring to be maintenance technicians, but we also have engineering scholarships. We have manufacturing scholarships, dispatch, air traffic control scholarships. We also have a series of continuing education scholarships. So if you want to pursue your MBA or continue your your desk job training, those exist as well. And then one of the ones that I'm kind of most proud of is the internships that we have available as well for those that want to try out different career paths within the industry. Internships are a great way to do that.
I know, are those volunteer internships or paid?
No, those can be paid.
Okay. So that's always music to a student's ears, right?
Right, yeah.
What's the qualification parameter for internships as an example?
So they are specific to the scholarship, but all of the requirements are listed per scholarship.
Okay.
Our donors have the ability to specify the criteria that are important to them. So we don't have a one size fits all. It really depends on what the donor is looking for and what the criteria are to get into that segment.
Okay, and just like HAI, WAI requires you to be a member to to apply for scholarships. We're talking about the scholarships for 2023. And I was just looking at it. It looks like October 1st, you have to be a member by then, and you still have until October 12th.
Yes.
For the deadline.
Yes, midnight, October 12th is the deadline. And we get a lot of applications in, obviously, on October the 12th. But as a member, you can apply for 3 scholarships. And, we always say, if you didn't get one in this cycle, please apply again next year. The pool of applicants is always changing. And so don't get discouraged in the first try.
Yeah, speaking of discouragement, let's dig down on that for just a minute, because you guys are always telling me about all of the different scholarship programs. And I say you guys, all of the associations have a ton of scholarships actually that are available. Yeah. And yet it seems sometimes challenging. I was mentioning this to Jim with the HAI. It seems sometimes challenging to get the momentum going in terms of people really taking advantage of applying for these. And I've had offline conversations about it. Are people still intimidated by the whole application process, or what's the deal?
I think that's part of it, right? Especially if you're required to write an essay, for example. If you don't feel that you are a skilled writer, that can be a deterrent for your confidence to apply. But look, we're not looking, it's not an English paper, right? We're not looking for proper pronunciation.
Not looking for a dissertation,
right? Yeah. We're the reason that there are essays is for you to convey your passion and for you to convey why you want this scholarship and what you want to do with your career. It's as simple as that. This is not something where we are going over it with a red pen. So don't really be that discouraged for an essay. It's just the pool trying to understand who these people are and what their interests are in the industry. But I think
you recommend go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, would you recommend that they go to a counselor or advisor? If they're in college, it's usually an advisor to get some assistance, or maybe even a teacher or professor to say, hey, can you help me go through this application process?
Yeah. Or if you have a mentor that's outside of your university path. I'm a big fan of mentorship, and I think that everybody has in our careers have benefited from mentors. So yes, 100%. This is something where you can definitely bounce ideas off of somebody that's in the industry, and I think that is very beneficial.
And you guys have quite the staff there and everything. Can they also contact your association to get some advice and assistance on it? I'm just trying to keep it encouraging in terms of people that tend to be hesitant about this.
Yes. Well, first off, we have a ton of information on how to apply for scholarships on our website, but we also have people that are available, probably more than I want them to be in terms of work-life balance, but they really are dedicated to answering the questions that our members have and providing them any resources that they can to make this application process easier.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing to you that I did with Jim. Tell us a little bit about Women in Aviation, the International, the association, for people that, for one reason or another, not familiar, especially some of the younger viewers of the show, and about your upcoming convention next spring.
So we are a nonprofit whose mission is to really have diversity in our industry. And we see the stats that are available right now that really haven't changed in the last few decades in terms of the representation of women throughout the industry. This is not just a pilot issue. The pilots are getting a lot of attention right now in the media for being a massive shortage. But you look at the representation of women in maintenance professions, for example, 2.5%. That's really an opportunity, as my colleague Kelly would say, for a lot of improvement. And that really is what our mission is. And that is everything that we do is designed to get more women in the industry and keep them in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. When is your convention?
So we are in Long Beach, California in 2023, which is a favorite destination of our members. And it is February 23rd to the 25th.
Yeah. Great. And you guys had a great convention last year. I believe it was
Yeah.
in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the return back to in-person conferences for us. We had a great turnout, and it was really a huge family reunion for our members to get back in front of each other. So the energy was great, and I think that the same will be said for 2023. I think everyone is looking forward to seeing each other.
Allison, while I have you, tell us a little bit about your girls' fly. What's it called?
Girls in Aviation Day.
Girls in Aviation Day.
Thank you for giving that a plug because it is September 24th of this year.
Oh wow, it's coming up.
We have events throughout the world. All of them are listed on our website. Under events and Girls in Aviation Day, you can find one in your local community to attend. Girls are so excited to be a part of this day, and the energy is great. And all of the events are different depending on who is hosting the event and what resources they have available to them. Some can be as small as 10 kids, some can be over 1,000. So it's just a really great day to expose young girls to all this industry has to offer.
What age range?
So it's 8 through 17 really is our target.
Okay.
But if an 8-year-old has a younger brother or sister that they want to bring along, we will not turn them away.
You won't kick them out, huh?
No way. And it's for girls and boys. I also want to say that I think that our message is to expose as many people to the industry as possible.
Got you. And as we kind of wrap things up, you will be announcing the winners of these scholarships at your convention. Is that correct?
Yes. So so they will get notified sometime around the beginning of the year. And if they can travel to conference, then they will be awarded at one of our events throughout the 3 days. And it's just a great opportunity for them to be exposed to more people in the industry. I also want to say that I can't announce more than this at this point, but we will have more scholarship money available in this cycle. And so I ask everyone just to check our website regularly, and we will hopefully be making that announcement soon. But we're not done. That's the message.
Okay. And while I'm waiting for Emily, who I think is getting ready to come up on now.
Yep.
Hi, Emily. Say hi to Allison McKay. I don't know if you guys have met.
No, I don't.
Emily?
I have not met. Have we met? Sorry.
We met very briefly at the Nashville conference, and I saw you and I was like, oh my God, can we take a picture together? So
fantastic.
We kind of informally met.
Awesome. Well, I hope to see you in Long Beach. I don't want to steal your 15 minutes. So Vince, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Allison. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on, and wishing you the best of luck with Women in Aviation International and the Girls Aviation Day and everything that's coming up for you guys, and that these scholarships can benefit a lot of people.
Yes, 100%. All right, take care.
You too. Emily, welcome.
Hello.
So we have Emily Kennedy. Emily is with Women in Corporate Aviation, and she's also got her A&P certification and is working on her degree with Embry-Riddle Worldwide, which I thought was really cool. You kind of decided to do it the other way around, get the certification and then go to college.
Yeah, well, so I started at Embry-Riddle, and when I started, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was kind of like, I don't know what avenues are available in aviation. So one of my academic advisors was like, why don't you take some maintenance classes? Just because. And I was like, okay. And I took some, and I really liked it, and I excelled at them. So that's when I decided to take a break from Riddle and then get the license and then finish the degree. So yeah, I kind of just tossed it in there like a sandwich.
That's okay though. That's actually great. You're not alone. You know, there are a lot of people in your generation that have to do different ways, find different paths to figure out what they want to do and how they want to do it. So not unusual. Embry-Riddle, of course, has great programs, period, but their maintenance program I happen to know a lot about is a very good program there. And actually did a live show from there, from the maintenance department.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, last year.
Awesome.
So it was very cool. Met the dean and had a couple of the students on and everything, and it was very impressive. So
I got to visit their maintenance hangar one time when I was visiting for actually a Women in Aviation conference in Orlando one year, and that was really, really cool. I was like, dang, I wish I could have gotten my A&P from here, but I couldn't move down there. So
Well, let's talk about Women in Corporate Aviation Scholarship Program, what you guys have going on, because you have scholarships that are available for people to apply, and you have a deadline coming up.
Yes, so the deadline is September 24th. So just make sure you get in your applications before then. But as far as the scholarships that we have available, I feel like Women in Corporate Aviation is very good and very diverse with their scholarship offerings. We have scholarships that are for flight training, for maintenance initials. So just not just financial scholarships, although we do have those too. And we have ones for legal and safety. And I just wanted to add in that we're very grateful for all of our sponsors and donors, from flight safety to the Da Vinci in-flight training, executive jet management. Sorry, there's so many. I'm not going to.
No problem. I have the list here. You have Jetstream Aviation Law, and you said EJM, Executive Jet Management.
Yep.
Viasat, which is great.
Yeah.
Solaris, which is great. I know all of these guys. Standard Aero.
Yeah. Aviation really is a small world.
it's a very small world, but no, this is fantastic. And the variety of the type of scholarships. You even have flight attendant training scholarships.
Yes. We have a lot of those
with Air Care. And that you mentioned Da Vinci, right?
Yes. Yeah. So our application process, I have applied for scholarships myself, and I do feel like it is quite an easy application. It's kind of just, you click the link through our website, and it just takes you directly to basically the whole application process. And then it just has tabs. So once you start the process, you can kind of go from entering your information, what scholarships you want to apply for, and then you do your essay there too. So it's pretty streamlined, and you can save it at any point and come back. That's what I've done. If you don't have everything together, but it gives you a good chance to see, okay, I need my resume, I need my flight training logs, logbooks, whatever you're going to need. It gives you a good idea of what you need, and then you can come back to it later, and it's all still there, everything that you put in. So I feel like it's pretty easy and streamlined to get through. And of course, all our scholarship donors have different requirements for what they need. But that will be specific to the scholarship offering, and you'll see that when you apply.
Yeah, you were answering my next question, and that was really if there was a big difference between application of or applying for scholarships in some of the various areas. So the basic information remains the same, and then it's kind of skewed towards whatever kind of scholarship it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, it's kind of just to piggyback off of what Allison said. It's we want to get to know who you are, and what you want to get out of this scholarship, how you're going to use it, etc. So it's really, I think the max amount of words is 750, but double check the website. I'm pretty sure that's what it is for this round. But we just want to get to know your story and who you are. And so I know it seems intimidating writing a scholarship essay, but
right.
I myself have won a Women in Corporate Aviation scholarship in the past. And if I can give out any advice, it's really just to tell a story. Don't just say say whatever you want, obviously. But
but you're talking from experience, so they need to hear this.
Yeah. So I just always recommend, make it a story, make it interesting. Tell us about yourself or something, a hardship that you went through, that you had a boundary that you had to climb over, because there's lots of bullet points that we have that you can write about your background and stuff like that. But I just personally like to make it a story so that they can really not just have info on who I am, but kind of see a visual of who I am as well. So I know that's probably harder than it sounds, but make it fun.
I'm going to take advantage of you representing the younger generation and just getting started in your career and ask you, what is it that you think makes people a little bit intimidated about it and have a tendency to not take advantage of the opportunities? What was the difference for you? What made you, besides the fact that you're obviously very outgoing, made you say, hey, I need to do this?
I think for me, it was not even so much that, I need school paid for. I need something, I need some assistance paying for school. It was more so, I think that these scholarships can help grow my career and can help with connections and networking. And I feel like that's what's really, really important with these scholarships is we're not just handing out money and saying, here you go, now be on your way. It's like we're opening career doors and we're expanding networks and changing lives, and just the knowledge and the networking opportunities that you can make from these scholarships is really, once I had a mentor in Women in Corporate Aviation, I realized that it's so much more than just here's a check, go on your way. So it just really opened doors. And so for me, I think what kind of held me back in the beginning was just the application process, the whole like, oh man, I gotta get my resume together, and oh, I gotta write this essay, and oh, is that enough words? And a problem that I had was cutting it down enough, because at one scholarship round, it was only 500 words. So I was like, I kept ending up at like 600 and 700 words. And I'm like, how am I gonna cut out enough information where they know who I am, but it's not too much, or I don't go over the requirement? And I think for a lot of people, that's what's so intimidating, on top of having schoolwork and having a job. And then, if you have other extracurricular activities, like it can be hard to squeeze in. But if you just set aside, for me, what I had to do was just set aside like, 2 to 3 hours every weekend and work on it. Just work on scholarships. Don't do anything else, and then that kind of helps you relax during the rest of the week, because your mind is not like, oh God, when am I going to have time? Like if you already set that time aside, then like that's my time to work on my scholarships. So that's the case for me.
No, that's really great. I think your explanation about it's perfect to help people understand. It is a bit of a process, but if you focus on it, you can make it happen. And as I discussed with Women in Aviation International as an example, that have somebody help you out if you're just not comfortable with certain aspects of it, and figure things out with that. So you guys have a tight window on this. So you have a deadline of September 24th, and then you actually award the scholarships the next month in October on the 19th.
Yep, I think it's at base. Yeah.
At base at NBAA's convention down in Orlando. So which is great. I mean, it's a quick turnaround. I take it you guys have like a panel of people that review all of the scholarships. And you said a number earlier. Did you say you get up to 750 applications? Or was that a different number and I'm mixing it up?
We have handed over the past, I think, 16 years.
Oh, handed out. Okay.
Oh, that's what I was saying. We're not just handing out money, but we are, over the last 16 years, Women in Corporate Aviation has awarded over 200 scholarships, and they're valued at over $750,000. So yeah.
700. Okay, you didn't say the 1,000 part, so when you said 750, I wasn't sure what to edit.
Oh yeah.
$750,000. That's a lot of money that's out there, and that there's an opportunity for. So very glad to hear that, and I also appreciate you giving the insight about the scholarship process. As we kind of wrap up here, I wanted to ask you, one, how you got involved with Women in Corporate Aviation, which is a great organization, and two, what kind of things have you been doing with them since you got involved?
So I initially found out about Women in Corporate Aviation when I went to the Women in Aviation conference in Long Beach 2019. And it's funny because aviation really is a small world. When I was doing my online courses at Embry-Riddle, I met a guy who was like, oh, you're going to the conference? Well, you should meet these two pilots, these two women. And so through them, they were part of Women in Corporate Aviation, they're Gulfstream pilots. And they just introduced me to, the entire Women in Corporate Aviation organization. And from there, I made a ton more mentors. They're the best. I could talk about them all day, but I won't. But so I've gotten more involved in the past couple of years. I am now the volunteer coordinator for Women in Corporate Aviation. So if you want to volunteer, send me an email, volunteer@wca-intl.org, because that's what's really helping and benefiting the organization. Like everybody that's on the scholarship committee, it's all in their free time. Like we need good people in business aviation, and people that are passionate, and people that want to volunteer and be in the mix. Those people they aren't getting paid for it, they're passionate, they want to help make a difference. And so for me, my long-term goal is to become a mentor to some, more females that are kind of intimidated by maintenance. It's been a male dominated field for so long.
Right. I was actually going to bring that up about that. I wanted to be gentle about it, but I wanted to ask you,
that's okay.
being a woman in the maintenance aspect of things, which is still male dominated, but I'm seeing a lot more women go into the A&P world and that type of thing. First of all, what drew you to it, to want to do maintenance when you were at school and you said, oh, I kind of like this the mechanic side of things, and then about being a woman in a male dominated aspect of the industry?
Yeah. So honestly, I wish I had a good answer for what attracted me to maintenance, but all I can say is that it interested me in a way that a lot of other avenues didn't. I like the hands-on aspect. I like the trying to, troubleshoot. And I guess I like to look at challenges as fun versus being like, oh man, this is going to be horrible. Like, I don't want to do this. I always try to look at it as a fun challenge. And as far as being a female in a very male-dominated part of aviation, I think a lot of it has to do with where you end up. What organization do you go to? The first place that I worked at as an A&P, I didn't last very long, like under 6 months, because there was not a lot of room for growth. They didn't have a very solid training program. So I would say don't be afraid to stay stuck in those kind of places. And so I left, I went somewhere else. Another place that I'm at now, I'm the only female that's a technician, but it feels like, I hate to say this because I know it's cliche, but it feels like I'm part of a family, like a work family. They, advocate for me. They push me to do things that I'm like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not strong enough. And they're like, yes, you can, like, come on. So as long as you're working in an environment where people want to see you succeed, I don't think it matters if it's male or female. Like, you just need to find a place where you fit in and where you can grow and where people are encouraging you to try your best and do your best. And that's the best advice that I could give on that.
I went to look at the website for the company that you work for. Are you working on the Learjet?
Yes. So we work on 31s, 35s, and 45s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
because an air what's the name of the company again?
Medway Air Ambulance.
Medway, yeah, up in Gwinnett at the
Yep.
Atlanta's kind of old stomping grounds. Used to fly out of PDK, so.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
Yeah, so I know the airspace really well down there. But
nice.
Well, that's really cool. You're working on iconic aircraft. I guess you know that. Lear has quite the name. Goes way back.
Definitely. Yeah. I didn't really know much about Learjets until I started working here. And then that's something I like to do is when I start working, on a specific plane, I really want to get super curious and intrigued and be like, well, what can I learn about this plane? So after I started working here, I just started watching like a bunch of documentary history videos on Learjet. So
it's amazing. It's got an amazing history.
It does.
Yeah. Well, that's very smart of you to do that. So do you see a long-term career on the maintenance side, or you think that because I saw that you're getting a degree on safety, I think, or?
Yes. So my major is in aeronautics, and then my minor is in aviation safety. And that's a good question that you ask, and I get it a lot. And it's also one of those things where I'm like, I have no idea. I really like doing maintenance, and it's just fun for me to learn it all and know the plane. And I think eventually maybe I'll, I don't know, level up or move up to some other position, but I don't want to put a title on that position because I don't want that to be my goal, is like having a certain title as, oh, I want to be the DOM or I want to be the director of operations. I want to see like everything that's out there and then kind of go from there. Because I feel like every day I'm learning a new position in aviation, a new title. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that existed. Like, tell me about it. And so I guess I'm just trying to keep my doors open. But I definitely want to stay on the maintenance side, at least for, quite a few years, and really be knowledgeable about it.
Cool. She is here. Let me see if I
Cool.
can put her in. Just hang on a
Hi.
second while I add her in.
I've been here for about 25 minutes. I got to see Allison.
Oh
I'm
gosh. How about
listening
now?
to Emily.
Oh, absolutely. It's great, and I'm glad you guys get a chance to say hello. Emily,
Sounds
take
good.
care. Thanks for everything,
Thank
and
you.
wish you the best with your career.
Thanks. If you don't mind, I'm going to stay on because I want to hear Jessica talk too. But I'm going to,
Absolutely.
yeah.
No pressure. Yeah. Hi, Vince.
Hey, Jessica, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to do my absolute best to fill in for Fallon. I know those are very big shoes to fill, but I'm here and I'll do the best I can.
No, I appreciate it. So you're the executive director of Whirly-Girls.
Yes.
And is that fairly recent?
Yes. I've been with the Whirly-Girls for about 7 years now. My first 5 years were in various board positions. And then they had the ability to kind of bring on a part-time executive director. So I jumped on that right away because I've loved this organization since the moment I joined it. So it's just a part-time position, and we've been able to do a lot of really good things these last 2 years. So it's been my honor to be there.
Great. Tell us a little bit for people that may not know. Just give us the elevator on Whirly-Girls, and a little bit about your aviation background, if you would.
Sure. Yeah. So Whirly-Girls is a female helicopter pilot organization. We're a membership-based organization. We were established in 1955, essentially by the first 13 rated female helicopter pilots. So we have the primary goal and have since 55 to advance women in helicopter aviation. We serve as a nonprofit, and over the years have developed just a really amazing helicopter scholarship program for women to help, advance their career, support their career, network, and move on to where they want to be in the industry. So that's kind of the gist of what the Whirly-Girls are. A little bit of my background: I'm a CFI, CFII in helicopters, but I've actually been flying the desk more these days. I work in insurance, focusing on aviation insurance right now. So I still talk the talk, but I'm not flying the aircraft as much.
You're
just
working
more
on
for
it,
fun.
though, right?
I'm learning a whole nother side of things, and now everything is about risk, and so it's been interesting to see it from that point of view. But someday I will get back out there for sure.
What's your go-to helicopter for now?
Right now it's the 44. That's the closest that I can jump into at any moment to where I live. So I do like the Robinson aircraft.
Yeah, Robinsons are great. So tell us about the scholarship programs with Whirly-Girls.
Yeah, so our scholarship program, the one thing I love the most about our scholarship program is there's a lot of actual flight scholarships where you get actual flight time. We average about $150,000 a year in different training opportunities. In support of our mission, the main goal with these scholarships is basically for women to be able to add to their resume and have something that's going to help them get to that next step in their career. We try to keep it a big variety on some different things there. We have everything from, classroom training with the Garmin, CRM, AM, RM training courses, Airbus IMC courses, those kind of things. And then we also have, some bigger ones. We have instrument rating scholarships. We have mountain training scholarships, external load training scholarships. So women are able to really, get some specific types of training that are going to maybe get them into that company that's flying that type of operation. We've got a lot of returning sponsors that have been with us for a lot of years. We've had flight safety for a lot of years. We have had Robinson for many years. They offer 2 scholarships for us. You can either choose the 22 or 44 or the R66. And then we've got some, newer stuff this year. We have PHI that has joined us this year with a Bell 407 scholarship. We have Southern Utah University is doing something a little bit unique, where I guess it's a little more targeted But should you want to enroll in a university program, or if you're already enrolled in Southern Utah University, they have a $20,000 offering towards flight training while attending their program, which is huge. Bristow Group is offering an initial, which is something we've always kind of wanted. We pertain a lot of our scholarships. You kind of have to already be a rated female helicopter pilot because they're specialized. You're adding them on to certain things. And so we've wanted to be able to take someone who's kind of starting out and help them in that journey. So Bristow Group is offering that. And let me see, we've got so many good things. Some of the ones that are really,
have a ton of them.
I know we do. We have 19 scholarships this year. Like I said, we average around $150,000. Some of the ones that are closest to my heart that our organization facilitates ourselves. One self-funded scholarship that we put, the money that we raise into is an add-on. So a fixed wing female pilot is able to add on a helicopter rating. And then we do a memorial every year dedicated to somebody. This year, we're dedicating our memorial to our late board member, Laura Trout. So that'll be in her memory, and a lot of her colleagues, family members have made donations in her honor to support that scholarship. It's a very flexible scholarship, our memorial. You can kind of choose what you want to use it for, and you put that in your essay. So it's really great. But yeah, everything is listed on our website. We do have a new website, so I feel like I need to put that disclaimer out there. It is awesome, but we are still working through a couple of things, but we're monitoring it all the time. So we're fixing things.
Whirly-Girls.org?
Whirly-Girls.org. Yep.
Okay. And your scholarship deadline is on Sunday, October 2nd. So
yes,
a little over a month from now. Anything you want to share about the process for applying?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to be an active member by the 30th of September, which is still plenty of time, to become an active member. And then, like you mentioned, the deadline is October 2nd to get those applications in. It's super easy online with this, kind of new process that we've put in place. We tried to eliminate a lot of the harder, holdups. So once you go online, you go under apply for scholarships. It pretty much just feeds you through the process. You can apply for as many as you want. There is no limit. You can, if you want anything that you qualify for. There are some that have specific requirements, based on experience. But whatever you qualify for, you can apply for. There's no cap. And we encourage people to do that. We have a ranking system. So you kind of rank what you want the most. And we do our best to accommodate based on, who's chosen as the winners.
Great. Jessica, you want to tell us anything about any upcoming event or anything else about Whirly-Girls? We do have a few minutes, and I want to make sure I give Whirly-Girls the same opportunity I've given the other associations to talk about the association overall and any special event coming up.
Yeah, sure. I guess probably the biggest thing to mention is that we do award the winners at the HAI Heli Expo. So the upcoming Heli Expo in 2023, we have our banquet the Sunday before the week of the expo. We bring all of our sponsors together. We actually bring the winners there. We honor them at a banquet. We, present them with their awards, and then we spend the time to walk them around the show floor, introduce them to their sponsors, and really provide that in-person networking opportunity. It's an expense that we incur as an organization, but we have found it to be so beneficial for networking alone that it's something we're not willing to let go of. So I'd say that'd probably be the biggest thing to put on the calendar, is that banquet the Sunday before the expo. Like I said, we interact with the sponsors, the winners, and then we interact during the show. So it's a really great way to kind of bring everyone together and really see the reward from all the work that's been put in.
Absolutely. Well, this is great. I'm sorry that we were a little bit tight on time and that I totally missed, because everybody else was popping up before their time to come on, and I didn't see your video. So, and you didn't say anything. I guess you didn't want to interrupt us. So, but I appreciate all of the information. Again, it's whirlygirls.org. And then they can find out more information about the scholarship availabilities and things like that. And you guys will be in Atlanta with HAI. Which that's a great convention that they have, and it'll be fun to see them in Atlanta again. They haven't been there in a while. Also wish you the very best with your rotor wing career, if you will.
Thank you.
And the opportunity. So a lot of different people watch this webcast, and including the president and CEO of HAI, who was just on at the beginning of it. So I'm sure he will see that you are out there looking for opportunities to fly. I take it that you're still pursuing I shouldn't be presumptive, that you're pursuing a opportunity to be a professional helicopter pilot.
Yes, sir. I have my commercial rating. I just, work-life balance. I've got little kids and a lot going on, but once they get a little older, mom's getting back in the PIC seat.
Well, that's even more of a reason for you to be flying, to bring home even more bread, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. My oldest is very into aviation, but he prefers airplanes. I don't, we're still supporting it in those airplanes and not helicopters. Yeah.
No, I was telling Jim earlier, I love both sides. So I love helicopters and airplanes. I think they offer their unique aspects, but they're both, anything that flies, I'm usually pretty good with. So
yeah.
But how old is your son?
9.
Okay.
2 boys, 6 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
9, perfect age. He's going to be a great pilot one day. So
yeah.
Thanks. All the best to Whirly Girls and the best to you. Thanks again for being on, and you take care.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for watching All Things Aviation and Aerospace. Appreciate everybody having the opportunity to find out a little bit more about some of these scholarship opportunities with Helicopter Association International, Women in Aviation International, Whirly-Girls, and Women in Corporate Aviation. These were all scholarships that are coming up with deadlines in September and October, that's why doing the show. But the main point was to give you the opportunity to find out more detail about what these scholarships offer and what may be applicable to you. So I hope you found it. I will be doing actually 2 more shows on scholarships, because there are more scholarships out there that are coming up with later deadlines going into 2023, et cetera. And one of the ones that I found out about after this show was already kind of locked down, and that has to do with the United States Air Force and their Aim High program. They have a program that provides a scholarship for flight training in the summer, and they're actually having an application process that will start, I believe, October 1st, if I'm not mistaken, for a month. And that's for applying for a scholarship for next year. I looked at their application, and it might be a little intimidating. So you definitely want to get going with it if you're interested. You might want to get a little help on it too. Just quite a bit of information that they want you to provide. But it's a robust program for their Aim High Flight Academy in the summer, next summer. It'll be a great thing for you to check out. And that kind of wraps it up for everything about scholarships this go around. Thank you as always for watching and listening to All Things Aviation and Aerospace. I always want to ask you to please subscribe to Private Air Media Group and check out some of our other shows on either YouTube or Facebook when you get an opportunity. Thanks again. Everybody take care. My name is Vince Mickens with the Private Air Media Group. We'll see you next time.